Hi everyone, hoarse voice Hamish reporting for duty. I never really learn, do I? Right, we've got another 2 video day for you today. I promise the 2 video days are going to dry up by the end of the week. Sounded really like a weatherman there. But basically, I felt that it'd be worth doing 2 more videos today because I know you folks are quite enjoying the content at the moment, or certainly hope you are. The first video I'm going to do right now is going to be me chatting about going back to Celtic Park last night, the experience, how I found it, what had changed, what was different post-pandemic, what it's like going to a match in the midst of a pandemic with a limited crowd. And then later on, Jackie McNamara and Ewan will join me to chat about the game itself and any other stuff going on with Celtic. We did the live reaction last night as well. I was at Celtic Park. John was in his home. It went kind of all right. You can check that out for yourself. I will link it above now. So if you want a general chat about the game itself, check that out. If you want to know about going to the match, keep watching here. If you want both, then watch both. But yeah, completely roasting yesterday. I know we've got fans and viewers all around the world now. You know, a lot of the people down under will be in the midst of winter at the moment, I think. It's absolutely roasting in Scotland at the moment. So warm that when we went into Celtic Park last night, the club had actually laid on cartons of water for fans to take and obviously drink to stay hydrated. Now, for a start, I've never heard of cartons of water in my life before. It's usually milk that comes in cartons. I've heard of milk cartons, I've heard of Hamish cartons, but I've never heard of water cartons. But we'll take it. It must have been on some sort of bulk deal for the club, cost them a little bit less. But a great move from them because it properly was roasting, and the vast majority of fans, I think, took at least 1 carton of water. I certainly saw a few people drinking before the game and during the game because it was proper warm. I can't remember too many games like that where it's been just as warm as that for a Celtic match. But amazing to be back. Once I went in, put my ticket in the turnstile, walked up about 8 million flights of stairs to the upper tier of the North Stand. I've never been in that part of the ground before. I think it's probably the only part of the ground I've never sat in. Great view, right at the halfway line, great view of the pitch, loved it. And I was trying to think whether it felt strange to be back or whether it felt completely normal to be back. And to be honest, I'm kind of going towards the latter. Once I sat down, watched the players warming up, heard some of the songs on the tannoy, heard some chants coming from fans early doors, it felt really, really normal to be back. Now, I don't know if anyone else who was at the game last night or at the Preston game on Saturday felt the same way, or whether people watching this who haven't been back to Celtic Park yet but will be soon will feel the same way. But that's just how I felt. There was only 9,000 fans there, but I thought the rendition of You Never Walk Alone was amazing. I can't imagine that being 6 or 7 times louder with a full Celtic Park. I just thought it was just as loud as it normally would be. Amazing. The huddle as well, amazing. The Celtic goal, just incredible. Limbs everywhere. Social distancing probably went out the window for a lot of people at that point. No comment on myself, of course, but an amazing moment. I'd actually forgotten what it was like to celebrate a Celtic goal. It has been so long. In the stadium, I should say. Although last season we didn't really have much to celebrate at home. MIdtjylland goal was strange. Strange having no away fans at the game, even though most of our home games only have maybe 500-600, if that, away fans. Having none at all and hearing complete silence when they scored other than their 11 players in their dugout was very strange. But I guess that's just one of the things we'll have to get used to until away fans return, which hopefully will be pretty soon. I thought the Celtic support were really good in general. They stuck with the team. There were maybe some sections that were getting a little bit anxious, were passing out from the back. Players taking chances. There was one from Barkas in the first half where he, I think maybe from a free kick or maybe just had the ball at his feet and he kind of played a strange ball inside. It looked really risky, and a lot of fans got a bit excited about that, when in reality it was probably relatively safe, even if a little bit unorthodox from the goalkeeper. But I think we're just going to have to get used to things being like that. That's the way Postecoglou likes to play, and we're going to have to get used to players playing the ball out from the back, maybe taking more chances than we did under Neil Lennon, but hopefully the end result is much better. There were a few people getting quite agitated at the end of the match, maybe the closing stages, when we seemed to be passing the ball around at the back, maybe not moving forward quite as quickly, finding that incisive pass into a Turnbull, a Rogic or a Christie. And I was kind of drawn to some comments Brendan Rodgers made when he first came to the club, and I think that was in a Champions League qualifier. From memory, it was maybe Astana when we were 1-1, I think, before we scored that late Moussa Dembele penalty, and the players were passing the ball at the back quite slowly, kind of looking for their opportunity to attack, and a lot of Celtic fans, obviously a full house that night, were getting quite agitated. And I remember Brendan Rodgers after the game said, like, this is the way we're wanting to play. I'm not wanting the players just to hoof it long. I'm wanting us to keep passing the ball, looking for the opening. And it's important that the fans stick with that, and the fans don't get agitated and put pressure on the team to pass the ball forward quickly. And I was drawn to those comments because Postecoglou's probably thinking quite a similar thing. He wants his players to keep possession. Don't just throw an aimless ball forward, because that's never the way his teams have played. And I think it's important Celtic fans just remember that a little bit. It was probably just only a few fans, certainly a minority. And listen, we're 1-0 in a Champions League qualifier that we really wanted to try and win, so I do understand it, but I think we've just got to remember the manager wants us to play this way. The fans have to buy into it just as much as the players, and if that means just taking a deep breath late in games and trusting the team and trusting the manager to find that big chance rather than just hoofing it long, then I'm all for that. Because let's be honest, how many goals have Celtic scored over the years from hoofing it long? I can't really think of too many, certainly recently. But I thought in general the support were really good. I think in recent years, had we drawn a Champions League qualifier 1-1 at home, not too many people would have stayed to clap the team off the park at the end, but I think the vast majority of Celtic fans did. We always talk in this channel about Celtic fans being intelligent, generally, and I think that showed itself last night. The Celtic support realised where this team are, and we know we are starting a new cycle, and we know we are miles away from being where we want to be. And I think they understood that. There was a strange kind of feeling last night. I don't know if anyone else felt it, that it was obviously an important game. Really want to get through this tie, especially because of the ramifications for the Europa League. But it didn't feel quite as kind of do or die as previous Champions League qualifiers did in the Champions route. Now, I don't know if that's because realistically we probably know that it's an outside shout to make it to the Champions League group stage, going through this round, then PSV and Galatasaray, and then the final round as well against, a Benfica or a Monaco or someone like that. I think we realise it's going to be tough, and maybe that takes away a little bit of the edge. But I felt in general last night, fans were quite happy to see the progress and to see signs that there's going to be a Celtic team there, rather than just wanting the result. Obviously, we wanted to win the game last night, but the result wasn't the be-all and end-all. As daft as that sounds, I don't know, maybe that does sound completely daft, but I thought there was certain positives there. I think a lot of people came away from the game feeling better than they did before they went, even though we didn't win the match. That's certainly how I felt. But just amazing to be back at Celtic Park. The highlight was definitely the goal. Just forgot what it was like to celebrate a Celtic goal alongside other Celtic fans. It's all well and good doing it, in your living room and sending a tweet out with 14 Ys, 8 As and 22 S's. Yes, that is, but totally different when you're at a game and you hear that atmosphere. 9,000 fans made a lot of noise last night, but 60,000 will make so much more, and I can't wait to get back to a game when the stadium is full and everyone is, in every seat. In terms of the stadium itself, it looked great. Pitch looked great. Stadium looked great. Both screens were working, which, as you will all know, isn't always the case at Celtic Park. Don't think there was any real changes. None that I could really notice. Well, in fact, one, that I did notice was the 3 Adidas stripes around the bowl of the stadium. They look amazing. Really, really good in person. But other than that, not a great deal I don't think has actually changed, but great to have a bit of normality in our lives. Stuff we took for granted, going to the football, walking up the Celtic way, walking up 8 flights of stairs to get to your seat. Stuff you kind of take for granted, but amazing to be back. Just a shame we couldn't have won the game. But I think if Postecoglou's Celtic keep playing like that and cut out the daft errors and improve in key positions, the Celtic support will have so much to cheer about this season. The type of football he plays will mean that the atmosphere at home games is going to be amazing because it's electric football. You know, it's all action, and the Celtic support, I think, will really buy into that. That's all I've got to say for today. If you were at the game last night, let me know what you thought of it. What was your favourite part of the night? If you weren't at the game, tell me what you're looking forward to about going back to Celtic Park when you hopefully can very soon. We're back with Jackie McNamara later on today. Remember to subscribe to the channel as well, and we'll speak to you in a few hours.